So I just wanted to say thank you, because I'm at my 4-year anniversary here on YouTube, which is something I never thought I'd see. When I started the channel back in 2019, I fully anticipated making 2 or 3 videos, dropping it like a bad habit, and never coming back to it. And then a pandemic happened. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jay. Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you clicking on the thumbnail. If you're new here, I appreciate you coming back. If you are a returning viewer, nothing but love here. It's all family. Glad you're here. It's an interesting thing when I look back at it and I realize that 4 years have gone by, because 4 years is both equally an incredibly long amount of time and a blink of an eye. I am 44 years old. I look at it and I started this when I was 40. This was my official, I have no idea what to do with my life. I'm gonna start a YouTube channel, because that's what every mediocre white guy in their early 40s does. And I said, what the hell, why not? Let's give it a shot. And I am so thankful that it lasted longer than the 2 videos that I expected it to last. For those that don't know, I started the channel because I was having some severe social anxiety. I was having a really hard time talking to people. I've worked remotely now for 8 years, and when you go from daily interaction with folks and a large bustling office to an office of 1, where you don't have to put on pants, your ability to interact with people socially shifts a little bit, and that definitely happened for me. My wife and I were out at a dinner one night with some friends, and I ended up having a panic attack because social anxiety just laid in on me, and started having some pretty awful thoughts. Not good enough, I don't deserve to have these friends, I don't deserve to talk to these people. Had to leave the restaurant and calm down, and luckily it was nice and cold out, so I got a nice harsh dose of reality slapped in the face when I got outside. I was able to do some breathing exercises and kind of turned my head around a little bit. But yeah, it was something I struggled with, and I guess mentally I kind of got in my head that if I can talk to a camera lens, you right there, I can talk to a person, and that's helped a lot. I'm not going to say it's perfect. If you guys have met me at conventions, you know it's not perfect whatsoever. I do have some issues interacting with folks. There are days where I'm incredibly guarded, and then there are days where it's not a problem at all, and I'm kind of a social butterfly, and I'm happy to talk to folks, but as an introvert, it's incredibly exhausting. So this was an opportunity for me to talk to people, and I never expected folks to subscribe. I never expected anyone to give a damn about anything I have to say. And here we are. I'm under 50 subscribers away from 8,000 of you being here and giving a damn about what I say. I think some of you might hate me. I still appreciate you being here. Like, there's something to be said for having an audience. And that is what it is, because it's a thing where when you have something to say, or when you have something that you think you have to say, it's one thing to talk into a camera, but it's a very different thing to have an interaction with somebody and actually get feedback from people. And that's something that I just unbelievably value about each and every one of you. Whether you agree with everything I say, whether you disagree with everything I say, whether you love the games I love, whether you hate the games I love, I appreciate each and every one of you. Honestly, kind of especially the people that disagree with the things I say, because one of the best parts about the community that has surrounded Square Pegs, and that I appreciate about each and every one of you, is even when we've disagreed, it's been completely acceptable. Because it's never been with hatred, it's never been with anger, and I won't say that's 100%. There's definitely some folks out there that suck. You've been blocked. But there's occasions where I've had disagreements with somebody, or I haven't cared for a game that someone else liked, and it's always been cool. It's always been just a great discussion back and forth, and we shake hands at the end of it and we go along our way. And that's one of the things I love the most about this community, and what I love about you guys. I'm very lucky to have the supporters I have in place. Like I said, I'm almost at 8,000 subscribers. I have a great group of people supporting me on Patreon, and I appreciate it immensely. And that's not a plug for the Patreon, although if you want to. But I have channel members here that support me. I have a merch store. It's nothing I ever thought was even kind of possible when I started this channel. It was just something that kind of happened, and it's because of people supporting the channel that I even bothered. When I look back at the things that have happened over the last year, so at this time last year I had about 3,000 subscribers, and that was because of Robert and Wes from Gaming Off the Grid. They featured me on their channel. I got a lot of people interacting with the channel at that point and really pushed me kind of forward. And then things kind of died out, but then they featured me again in December, and things just kind of started accelerating in January. If you guys remember, if you're new here, you wouldn't, but if you've been here for a little while, I do my end of year recap and kind of my goals for the year video. at the start of every year. And one of the things I said last year was I would love to be at 8,000 subscribers by the end of 2023. And it looks like right now I will probably be there by the end of the week, which means there's an outside chance I could be at 10,000 by the end of this year. I don't think that's going to happen, and I'm okay if it doesn't happen, but how cool would that be to be into 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year? That's just crazy. That anybody wants to listen to the things I say is remarkable to me. And I know I can be long-winded. This video is proof of it because there's a lot more coming. I can tell you that right now. I know I can be long-winded, and I know I can use big words, and sometimes people don't appreciate that, and I get it. I'm sorry. But it's just the way I talk. And I, frankly stated, like to hear myself talk. Maybe that's a bit narcissistic of me, maybe it's a bit egomaniacal, but it seems to me that you guys like to hear me talk too, so I'm gonna keep doing that until you tell me you don't want me to anymore. This year's been pretty exceptional though. It started off in February. I had a video kind of spike on me, kind of crazily out of the blue. My EA Sports ranking video went from something that done about 1,000 views to something that was pretty much at 150,000 views in about a week and a half, and it's continued to get a ton of views since then. It is by far my best performing video. I've had opportunity this year to do videos that I don't normally do. Stuff where I talked about like the emulation video I did, or one where I was talking about my collecting habits needing to change. Stuff that a year ago I would have been afraid to do because it wasn't my core audience's stuff, and those have been resonant with people. People have enjoyed them, so look for more content like that. Most importantly this year was the ability to go to shows and see people that I care about. So far this year I've gone to the Midwest Gaming Classic, I've gone to the Illinois Game Con, I've gone to Southeast Game Exchange, I've gone to Korgs, and for the rest of the year I have Cleveland Gaming Classic, Pittsburgh Retro Gaming Expo, the Detroit Retro Gaming Expo, and Torg. Bookending my year with Columbus, which is the same thing I did last year. Columbus has kind of become my adoptive city, and I love it. I'm so fortunate to be able to be invited to shows like this, or to attend shows, in the case of Pittsburgh. It's something I don't take for granted, and to be a guest at shows like this, even in cases where it's just as a media guest, is kind of remarkable and something I really appreciate, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. And as much fun as it is to go to the shows, the real reason the shows are fun are because of the people, whether it's being able to be around people like Gary from Rock Solid Productions and Chris from the Game Dad Show, who I go to most of my shows with because they're two of my very best friends. Being able to see John Hancock and John Riggs at shows throughout the year. Meeting John from Biddy Kong's Quest at Siege this year. Meeting Mundane Designs at Siege. Awazram, Samantha Aziria, Steve Craig Retro Games, and these are all people I didn't necessarily meet at shows, but I've met through shows or met through other folks, has been just an awesome experience. And I'm just so lucky, and I don't want that to be the watchword for the video, but that's kind of what it is I am so lucky to have the things I have and to be associated with the people I'm associated with. A lot of times I feel like I don't deserve it, but I will never give it back because I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky because I am able to talk to people that I both collaborate with and I am friends with on a daily basis. I am able to talk to people that live in other countries on a daily basis. People like Scott and Jen from Retro Rivals, who meeting them, and Dennis this year at Siege was by far the highlight of my year. My absolute favorite thing that I've done this year was being able to meet them. Being able to talk to Stuart from Generation Pixel, who is someone that I treasure as a friend and someone that I just think is incredible, as well as just so many other amazing creators out there who I'm forgetting at this time, and I apologize for that, but I just wanted to say thank you. 4 years, like I said, is a long time to do something, and it's also a blink of an eye. And the last 4 years have just absolutely flown by, and I can't wait to see what happens next. And what happens next? That's our segue right there. What happens next for the channel? First off and foremost, this month in September, doing something a little different. I've had a couple of comments lately on the channel where it's been pointed out that I do a lot of Switch content, and no lies detected, 100% accurate. But it's because Switch stuff gets the views. But I have seen some cases of people wanting to see more PlayStation content, and I've said pretty regularly that I don't really play my PS5, and in turn I don't really play my PS4 either. And I don't play my PS3 because I don't care for it. But you know what I do play a lot of is my PlayStation 2. So the month of September, every video on Tuesday will be a PlayStation 2 centric video. And the first one that's going to be coming out this coming Tuesday, the day after Labor Day here in the States, is going to be 10 franchises that started on the PlayStation 2 that continue to this day. Probably. I don't know if they all continue to this day now that I've said that. So a PlayStation 2 themed video every Tuesday this month. There will be some other stuff throughout the month as well. Obviously, I'm uploading on Tuesdays and Fridays now, so you can look forward to 8 or 9 more videos this month. There's going to be some more shorts sprinkled in, so if you like short form content, that'll be around. It'll be here and on Instagram Reels and on TikTok. So wherever you want to follow me is fine. You can also follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram. I'd love to have people just kind of interacting on the socials. And I'm just excited to keep making content and keep talking to you guys. And that's really what it comes down to, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be making this content if it wasn't for you. If I was just talking into a void, I wouldn't bother. Because no one cares about talking into a void. People want to have some interaction, and you guys have helped me out so much mentally and gotten me from being fairly broken to a point where I'm pretty good now. I never ever thought the channel would be where it's at. Never once. I initially said if I can get to 100 subscribers one day, I'll be ecstatic. And to be where I'm at now, and to look at things and realize that there's something here, there's something special here, is so cool. Because that you guys want to hear me talk, and you guys are interested in talking to me and with me and sharing a joy of video games, even the ones you don't necessarily love or that I necessarily love, but you're sharing that love with me. That's a hell of a thing to be a part of, and I cannot tell you how much I sincerely appreciate it. The channel's doing great. The channel's going to keep moving forward. We have something, like I said, that's incredibly special here, and I am so thankful to each of you that you're a part of it. So thank you again. I appreciate you being here. It's just 4 fantastic years here on YouTube, and I can't wait to see what's next. So until next time, folks, I have been Jay. I appreciate you spending some time with me today. Until next time, remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.